Journey are an American rock band. They were formed in 1973 by former members of Santana, the Steve Miller Band, and Frumious Bandersnatch. They started as a prog band but went mainstream basically into the 80s. They took a break from 1987 to 1995. They've had a lot of change of members. They've had lots of arguments, including legal wranglings between members. But despite that, they've managed to release 16 albums and have sold over 100 million records worldwide. Hi, my name's Dan, and I am a hypocrite. I know that this is true in several areas of my life, but here's one I'm going to bring to light. I'm fond of saying that I deplore the elitism of challenging music, by which I mean there are some people who take music that's very challenging and basically give the attitude of, oh, I like this music, therefore I must be better than you, or I have better taste than you. And so I hate that attitude, but I'm not above sneering at stuff that I think of as being too mainstream. I'm trying to embrace the idea that just because something is mainstream doesn't mean it is not good. Um, which brings us to this album. So this was I can't remember what, eighth album by uh, uh, Journey. That's who we're talking about. And it's very much mainstream rock. It fits in with other bands that I think of as being mainstream American rock of around the time. Foreigner, Boston, Kansas, those kind of things. And of course, they have the classic track, which is the first track on this album, Don't Stop Believing. Some people, when I'm looking at the responses of other critics to this, so other critics, I don't really consider myself as a critic. Um, Critics to this album at the time and since, that some of them have embraced it and said it's a good album. Some of them sneered at it, and I think it's the mainstreamness that causes this sneer potentially. Or maybe they'd say it's other things and that it's just not. They don't think it's good for some reason. Um, so I would say in the context there was a lot of bands at this point in time that took a huge lunge towards the mainstream. Um, Prog rock bands, very much so, but people like Queen, and all sorts of bands moved towards the mainstream. And I get the impression that this is what Journey did. Right, let's talk about Don't Stop Believing, because it's a Stone Cold classic. I'm going to try and pick out why I think it is, as if being able to pick out these elements means that there's any chance of me being able to write something anywhere near as popular as this. That's not going to happen. But I think there are a combination of things that work together here to make this such a well-known and classic song. It's got a vaguely positive sentiment, so it's that title, Don't Stop Believing, is something you can apply in lots of different situations. I've often wondered if there was a kind of business opportunity to deliberately make songs that fill gaps that would be played on, TV on particular circumstances where there isn't something that would fit in that gap. But anyway, that's just an aside. It's got a strong chord sequence. So the main chord sequence is a 1-5-6-4 chord sequence. Sorry to be technical musically. It's quite a common chord sequence. In fact, there's some Australian guys who did a brilliant video where they did a whole lot of these things back to back and showed how common it was. They're claiming that every rock song, pop song ever has this chord sequence. They're not right, but it is a very predominant one. It's got very singable lyrics, especially it's got a chorus that's really easy to sing along to, but it's easy to sing along to all of it. And it's got a really strong musical arc to it, so it starts it's got this feeling of it's going to be epic, and then it becomes epic. A bit like another song that does that is Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. Got that kind of arc to it. So I confess, I do really like this song, actually. I think it hits a lot of. It's got these things and it hits it, but it's a really well known song. But I will sing along just about everybody else for a song like this. The rest of the album, then, is all pretty mainstream rock. So it about alternates between soft rock, radio friendly tracks which are usually either romantic or about some social issue or populist sentiment. To me, they're definitely manufactured for radio. I would say Don't Stop Believing probably is. But they feel a bit too manufactured for me compared with the other tracks, which are the harder rocking tracks, which I think have got a better feel. They seem to be enjoying themselves more. And there's stuff here that gets towards the quite heavy rock and the stuff that wouldn't be able to play stylistically with somebody like AC/DC, let's say. However, for the rest of the album, I'd say that there's one or two tracks that I recognise on here as well, but it doesn't have comparisons to some other bands that were around at the time. It doesn't have the bite of Def Leppard. It doesn't have the creativity of Queen, even 80s Queen. It doesn't have the cheekiness of AC/DC. Basically, it's lacking in distinction, I would say. So, in this case, apart from the one track, which is really excellent, the rest of it is good. It's all right. I'm not going to sneer at it, but I don't think it actually stands out as a brilliant classic album among a lot of other stuff. So that's what I think. I'd love to know what you think. So please do tell me in the comments box down there. And that's it from me for now.